Hey everyone, we are moving on to day number 34. This is going to be for February 3rd. First, I'm going to show you what I painted with food. First, if you remember, this is what I painted with paint, the regular house. And the next day we were supposed to paint with food and paint the house upside down. Again, both images were done with a 5-minute time limit. So this is my upside down house, and it looks like a fox with its tongue sticking out, or with a cigar in its mouth, or whatever. So I used chocolate, I used mustard, I used some Greek yogurt and strawberry jam, and I also used maple syrup. So while I was painting this, I used a green bean to paint it, or my fingers. And while I was painting this, I was so focused on, okay, so I have to draw the roof upside down, and then the sides of the house upside down, and the door, the windows, let's put a chimney on there upside down. And when I was done, I was like, I painted a fox! It was not an upside down house. So it kind of went perfectly with the whole idea of what we were trying to discover with ourselves. How we perceive the world is an illusion. The world itself is not an illusion. The world is real because we experience it, we live it. But how we perceive it is the illusion. So as much as I perceived this to be an upside down house as I was creating it, it turned out that my illusion, or my perception, was of one thing. And then when I took a step back and I looked at the entirety of it, I was, okay, well, now I painted a fox, and that's okay. So we're going to kind of roll with the same thing. We're going to put our paints away, we'll put our food away, keep our hands clean. But I want you to imagine something for a moment. So you walk outside, you're going to get ready to get in your car, but instead of a car, you still have the shape of the car there, but it's a spaceship. Okay, so you walk to your spaceship. You get in. You are not a driver, but you are a pilot. So you're a pilot of the spaceship. So you walk out of your house and into the spaceship, and you're now the pilot. You put your seatbelt on. You turn on the engine, and you start to navigate and go to where you're going. We'll say we're flying to where we're going. And the bumps on the road that you would normally feel, they're actually air turbulence. And what you always thought were stoplights are now glowing orbs that change color according to some kind of universal system. So if you actually go through these motions, pretty much everyone, as long as they are of the age limit, they've driven a car somewhere, felt the bumps on the road, and encountered some kind of stoplight. So if you imagine, if you take the word car out, and you still have the image of a car, and you still have the feeling of driving the car, but instead you call it a spaceship. And, you still fasten your seatbelt, you still turn on the engine, and you still go along, but instead of driving, we'll call it flying. So it's just changing the words, but because we have experiences with all of these different words, it actually changes the feeling of the entirety of the experience. So how we perceive the world around us could change so fast depending on the words used, the experiences that we have behind the words. We learned as we were reading the book about a week ago, the words mean really nothing. It's your experience, your past experiences, that add that emotional and that flavor, that richness to the book. So it's just words until you apply your own experience, your own understanding of the words to the book and to those words, then it makes sense and you can picture it, you can get involved with the characters. So the world around you is real. You interact with it, you feel it, you observe it, you're living it, you're there. But how you perceive the world is an illusion, because that car could actually be a spaceship and you could actually be a pilot. It's just a word, it's switching words, but the action is the same. So this next little experiment, or a little, I'm getting my X words mixed up, experience, is you're going to take an object, just a random everyday object, like this. Okay, so we call this a phone. Pretty much everyone calls this a phone. So you're going to take an everyday object. It could be a phone, it could be a mug, it could be a pencil, something very simple that you use almost every day, but you don't even think about it, you just use it. And you make a list. 10 other things it could possibly be. Not 10 ways to use it, but 10 things it could be. So originally it's a phone. It's pretty heavy. We can use it as a paperweight. We can use it as a power source. We can use it as a weapon. So instead of a phone, instead of calling this a phone, how about every day we walked around calling this a weapon? And how would your interaction differ from this? Would your, if you used it the same, you could actually still text people and call people. You could go on Facebook on your weapon. Would your experience of the word weapon change? Or would your feeling and interaction with a phone change? So by calling an object something else, you're mixing up your experiences. The mind gets confused because we're so set on and so comfortable with how we perceive the world. And as soon as that changes, or as soon as something comes in conflict with how we perceive the world, we suffer. Because we start to feel like we don't have control anymore. What we thought of the world, we think is so strange now, so we're lost. So if you actually go into your car and you believe it's a spaceship, and you start to act like it's a spaceship, then the people around you, because they don't live that same perception, they are going to think that you're completely off your rocker. You're completely crazy. So don't do that. Imagine it. Use your imagination, and it's okay. It works. So your experience, your little task to do for February 3rd, this is day number 34, is to take an everyday object, something very simple that you use and interact with every day, and you're going to take this object and you're going to come up with 10 different things that it could be. 10 different ways that this item could be used. If you do pick your phone, all of the examples that I gave, you can't use them because I already used them. So you have to come up with 10 different things. So I hope this is pretty exciting for you, because it does get a little weird, because then once you really start to get into it, stuff around you starts to change. The way you interact with the world starts to change. Because it's no longer a blanket. It could be a tent. I mean, it could be anything. You can use it as a tarp. I don't know. There are many different ways you can use everything around you, but we are always so stuck on how we are used to using these everyday items. So find an item. Make a list of 10 different ways that it could be used, 10 different things it could be called, and feel free to share. You can post your list. You can say, oh, I used a mug, and then just list your 10 different things that you came up with. It'll help other people to kind of see the world in a different way also, so that list might be pretty helpful for others. If you have any questions or comments, as always, you are more than welcome to write to me. You can use the blog, you can email me through my the contact sheet on my blog, you can use Facebook, and you can find me on YouTube as well. So feel free to use any resource you need to get a hold of me if that's your thing. That's it. So again, this is for February 3rd. It's day number 34, and I will see you all next time.